Welcome to Around Town with Macon Magazine, a monthly home and lifestyle series created by and for WCX15 locals only. On this month's program, we'll get your motors running at the Old Mill Motorcycle Museum in Juliette. We'll also help you beat the heat with 10 cool things to do this summer. Find out why money matters with Alfred Sams of SunTrust Banks, share a cocktail or two, and then round out the day with your local faces. We've got a great show ahead, so come and take a tour with us as we head around town with Macon Magazine. Juliette was a bustling mill community long before its Hollywood transformation. During the many years in between, however, the local economy began to die, as did the town, until the producers of the critically acclaimed 1991 film Fried Green Tomatoes helped put Juliette back on the map. Now, nearly 20 years later, Leslie White is helping Juliette reemerge as a unique day trip destination.
I sold a building in Macon about 7 or 8 years ago, and after I sold it, I was looking for another place to buy and came up to Juliette and just saw an old for sale sign. When I came up and looked at it before I bought it, all the windows had been knocked out, all the walls were knocked out. They really hadn't done anything since the flood of '94. It had pretty well just been vandalized since then. Well, originally this building was a grist mill, and it was started in 1845. It's a wooden structure, looked like a big wooden warehouse. And there was another dam. Instead of the dam we have now, there was a dam about 200 feet up, but it's built out of wood. And they changed that in the early 1900s. They came back and put a concrete dam in. This building burnt, not this building, but the building that was originally here burnt down in the early 1900s, and then they built it back out of this concrete to try to have a building that would be here forever. We'd never have to worry about it burning down again. At its time, it was the largest grist mill in the world. It had 25 stones in it. The story goes that when they were doing it, they were going to put 24 stones in it, and they heard there was one in England that had 24, so they added one more stone and they put 25 stones in it. It was, they were purchasing 1,000 carloads of corn a year, and there were 100 bushels of corn in each carload, so it meant they were grinding 1 million bushels of corn a year. It's a pretty large operation, and I think the most they ever employed were 45 people. When we started the renovations, it took us about 6 years to get all these windows put back in. I'd hire different crews and they'd start and quit, and it was a pretty big task. I bought it just thinking that we'd have a place to come on the weekends and hang out. Like a lot of people would have a lake house, we just have a river house. And really made a decision real early when I bought it. I wasn't going to make any firm decisions for a few years. I was just going to see what would happen. And as I was doing it and we come up here and stay, I realized sooner or later I'd want to move up here. And then after I moved up here and had started restoring all these old motorcycles, then I decided that, well, I might as well make it a museum too, because I had a lot of people come wanting to see the building or see the motorcycles. So it just kind of started off of a need, I guess you'd say, for the area to have something else to do up here. Probably one of my favorites is this 1957 that's behind me, the blue one. Don't know why, but it was the one that kind of got me started back in motorcycles after I hadn't fooled with them about 20 years. And then my next one would be the other brown one I have behind me. That's a 38 Knucklehead, just because it's an unrestored bike and it had been in the same family had it since 1940. I've located motorcycles really just through the internet, word of mouth, going around talking to people. The dealer in town, Grover Sassman, he sold me a lot of his old stuff and gave me a lot of his things too. Since I've opened the museum, I'm even getting more calls now of people telling me where motorcycles are. But I've gone as far north as New York buying motorcycles and as far west as Texas and south as Florida. But I just get calls about them. So many people, they have a real fond affection for the mill because their families all worked here, you know, or worked in either this mill or the one on the other side of the river. So it's kind of different living here because it's part of the community. It's not like you own it, because all the people, you know, they still have an affection for it. I haven't had anybody not, you know, they all just love it, and they're just glad we're doing something here. I think a lot of people, I've had a lot of guys tell me, you know, they just love to live here, like what I'm doing now, and women too, but more men than women. Most people that come here are riding. If you ride, you look for a place every weekend to have a place to go. You can't just go riding, you gotta have somewhere to go. So I think Juliette and the Whistle Stop and now the museum gives the people a place to go or a reason to go riding. Eventually, I'm going to move my shop on the 3rd level. Right now, the museum is the 1st and the 2nd level. I'm going to move my shop up on the 3rd level, and I'm going to move up myself on the 4th level. And that will probably be within the next couple of years. At the present time, I'm building a little campground over on an island that I've got. It's kind of like an island, but it's right off Juliette Road. We're doing it's going to be a 2-wheel only campground. We have 10 cabins and then another little place for tent camping. Well, when I first purchased the mill, the left side of it, left wing, had been used as a restaurant, and the rest of it had been divided up as an antique mall. And when we had the flood of '94, it flooded out the antique mall and the restaurant. So I just basically left all the rooms that were the antique mall in and changed them into bedrooms, and then took the area that was the restaurant and just made it a living area, a kitchen and a big dining room. We used the mill for family get-togethers for about 5 or 6 years. We had my parents' 50th wedding anniversary, and I had a few friends that got married up here, and we had another friend of mine that was sick, and we had a benefit for him here. So it's just been used for all different kind of functions. My favorite part of the mill would probably be the back porch overlooking the waterfall. Usually when people come in, I don't always take everybody down in the part I live. If I'm real busy, you know, because I don't have any help, so I don't take people down there. But when it's just a few, they're just real appreciative of being able to see it. And they're kind of amazed that it looks like it does on the inside when I haven't done anything to the outside. Oh yeah, I couldn't, especially my father, I don't think I could do it without him, all the help that he's been. And we were talking the other day, we really didn't realize all the get-togethers we had, how much it meant to the nieces and nephews, because I got one nephew that's just turned 5 years old. They asked him where he wanted to have his birthday party. Well, he wanted to have it at the mill. But they associate having parties and get-togethers with being at the mill. So I'd say that's one big way that it's affected my family.